Are you thinking about purchasing a new home and you're weighing your options between resale and new build? We're going to be talking about the differences today, right after this. Hi, my name is Tammy Medigovich, broker-owner of Casa Realty. And at Casa Realty, we're focused on serving our clients for all their home, life, and community needs. If this is your first visit to our YouTube page, be sure to subscribe, hit that like button and the notification bell so that you can be notified of all of our new videos and content. Do you have something in particular that you're wondering about with regard to real estate in the Arizona community? Just be sure to comment below and we'll make sure to get back to you right away. Now, let's get started with today's topic. So you're thinking of buying a new home and you're considering either a resale or a new build. Well, first let's define the difference between resale and new build. Most of you probably know this, but let's just keep everybody on the same page. So with a resale home, this is a previously constructed home and you're going to be working with a private seller. Could be a private entity as well, like an investor or an investment company, but for the most part, you're going to have a private individual on the other end of a transaction. A new build is a brand new construction where you're going to be able to give input on how the home is built from a design standpoint and the interior, and you're going to be working with and negotiating with a corporation on the other end that is represented by an on-site sales rep. So let's get started. We're going to start at the point in which you are ready to make an offer or start your negotiations on a property. So on a resale property, we are going to be negotiating. We're going to be negotiating with that seller based on and making an offer based on comparable sales in the area, condition of the property, how many other offers might be coming in. There's a lot of different factors that we're going to consider before we start those negotiations. You're going to submit your offer. The seller is going to determine if they either want to accept your offer, submit a counter offer, or reject your offer. Now, for a new build, we're going to be making an offer based on the base price that the builder is offering, any builder options that there might be, and then any design center options. So whereas with a resale home, you're going to be able to negotiate on that price a little bit in some markets. On a new build, there's other areas where you might be able to do some negotiating, but generally speaking, the builder is not going to reduce their base price of a home because that would mean that the rest of the homes that they're building in that community, they would have to compare and get comps for new homes that they're selling at that price. So in terms of negotiation, you have room to negotiate on both a resale home and a new build. It's just going to look a little bit different, and this is why it's important to make sure that the agent that you're working with is familiar with both types of transactions. So number 2, earnest money. On a resale home, earnest money, which is typically about 1% of your offer price, but it could be more and it could be less. If you put more earnest money, it could be a part of your negotiation tactic if you're trying to outbeat another buyer and you want to show that you're really serious about a home. On a new build, this is either going to be considered a lot reservation or a contract deposit. Now, it's very important that you read the fine print in the contract for the new build because there are certain elements of that contract which will keep you from getting that money returned. Whereas in a new build, there are several contingencies in the purchase contract that will allow you to get your earnest money back if you cancel the contract within the confines of the terms of the contract. On a new build, you are at risk within a certain amount of time, and every builder's a little bit different, but you are at risk at losing that deposit money. And then as you move forward towards, once you go to the design center and you start picking your options for the home, there is going to be a threshold where once you exceed that threshold, you may have to put more of a deposit down, and that becomes non-refundable. So definitely reading the fine print to make sure how and when your earnest money can be returned in a resale and a new build. The next stage in the purchase is going to be, in a resale home, your inspection and your due diligence period. This is the time in which you get to have a home inspection. You're going to do all of your due diligence. Maybe you want to check out the schools, the neighborhood. You need to talk to your insurance agent about anything particular with regard to obtaining home insurance for your home, for this home. And you're going to get a certain amount of time to do those inspections and negotiate with the seller on any repairs that you might want to have made. Now, on a new build, because you're building, your next step is going to be going to the design center and picking the interior finishes of the home. Now, as they're doing construction on the home, you are going to have the opportunity to call in your own inspector to check the different phases of construction. So if you want to have the electrical checked after electrical's done, plumbing, roof, etc., you're going to have to coordinate that with the home builder, and you're going to want to make sure, again, to read the fine print in the contract as to how and when they're going to let your independent contractor in to do those inspections. Now, a lot of buyers will just assume that because the city is coming in and doing inspections to check the builder's work, that that's good enough. And my advice would be to always get your own independent inspection, because we're all human and we all make mistakes. So better to have another set of eyes that are working just for you to get in and look at that home. So once you get through your negotiations and your deposit, you've either completed your home inspections or you've gone to the design center and now you're in the full build process, the next step in both of these parts of the transaction is to move forward with your loan. And that is, your lender is going to be collecting all your loan documents and preparing your loan for underwriting so you can move that much closer to your closing date. The next step as a part of that loan underwriting is to get a home valuation. So if you're getting a loan to purchase the property, whether it's a resale or a new build, the lender is going to order a home appraisal. And unlike your home inspection, this report is to determine the value of the home for the purposes of your loan. On a resale home, if the appraised value comes in less than what you've agreed to purchase for, you can assume that you're going to be doing a little bit of negotiation with that seller to either adjust the price, or you're going to have the opportunity to withdraw your offer and get your earnest money back. On a new build, depending on how much money you spent at the design center, you may have to pay the overage of what the value of the home was versus the amount of amenities that you put in. So when you're going to the design center, make sure that you lean into your realtor so that you know, is this home going to comp once I put in the design upgrades that I want to put into the home? Very important to make sure that when you show up to the closing table, you know how much you're going to have to come in with, depending on what that home valuation report came in. The next step is to receive your loan approval, and now you're going to be working towards your pre-closing walkthrough. So on a resale home, that walkthrough is going to be your opportunity to go into the home, check and make sure that any repairs that you've negotiated with the seller have been completed. And now that the sellers have moved out, or the home is vacant, or this is really your next time to see it before your close, you want to make sure that the home is in the same basic condition that it was when you originally made your offer. And you're going to sign off, say that it looks great, or you're going to take this opportunity to ask the seller to fix any leftover repairs that weren't completed. On a new build, you're going to have two sets of appointments as you move towards your closing date. The first one is going to be your buyer walkthrough, and this is going to be your opportunity to do what we call blue tape the house. The site manager is going to walk you through the home, and you're going to get an opportunity to look for any imperfections. There could be paint that wasn't finished. There could be maybe some damage to drywall, things like that. It's going to be your opportunity to do your final walkthrough and tell the builder, please fix all of these remaining items before I do my final walkthrough. After you finish that preliminary walkthrough, you're going to have a home orientation. Once again, this is going to be your opportunity to check and make sure that all the final blue tape items have been completed by the builder. And this is also the opportunity where the builder and the on-site manager is going to show you how to use your home. Now, that sounds really funny, but it is their opportunity to show you where your gas meter is, where your electric box is, how all the appliances are working appropriately, where your HVAC systems or your output systems and things like that. It's really an introduction to you to the home. So that's your opportunity to do that. And that's the difference between resale and new build. The final step in the process of buying either a resale home or a new build home is going to be your loan document signing. Assuming that you're getting a loan, or even if you're paying cash for a home, you're still going to have some documentation that needs to be signed in order to move towards closing. So that closing appointment is going to be scheduled. You're going to sign all of your loan documents or any final paperwork with regard to closing on the home before it can be recorded and the keys can be handed to you. Now, the major difference between the resale and the the resale and the new build, on a resale home, you're looking at an average close of escrow period of 30 to 45 days. So that's from 30 to 45 days from the point in which you put in your offer, you've gone through your inspections, your loan underwriting, your home valuation, and now you're getting your keys, you're 30 to 45 days. On a new build, from the time that you start your negotiation, the build time is going to be somewhere between 8 to 9 months, depending on the location and the price point of the home. There are some of our luxury homes that are taking 12 months, and there are some homes that are what we call a spec home. So a builder has built a home and it's ready to move into. You don't get to make any design choices. Those can be a little bit less or a little bit longer, but on average right now in Arizona, you're looking at about 8 to 9 months build time for a new build. So these are just a few of the factors to consider when you're weighing out the decision between buying a resale home and buying a new build. Do you have any additional questions that we can answer for you? Be sure to ask in the comments section or give us a call. We'll be more than happy to walk you through the process of either one so that you completely understand. And whether you're deciding to buy a resale or a new build, make sure that you're working with an experienced real estate professional that can help walk you through the contracts, protect your earnest money, and protect your interest throughout the transaction. And that goes for both resale and new build. So until next time, we'll see you soon.